Thanking the Lord for another beautiful morning. It is. I'm giving a great shout out to the YouTube family. From Papa JT down to baby brother Justice. Hope everybody's doing well. That goes to the Facebook family and brothers and sisters around the world also. Mitty Man, you said something very important in your video. We was talking about musicians and minister of music. And I like what you said. And it's gonna be I'll say my final video on this. When you said everybody who play is not a minister of music, big bro, tell it like it is. I know you probably made about 1 million people mad with that, but that's the truth. Just like everybody that think they call a preacher is not a preacher. And I'm so glad you pointed that out in your video, man, because I was just looking at it again. And we've been talking about how people try to elevate themselves into some God haven't even called them to do. And we was talking about, learning how to teach parts and all of that. Things that a minister of music do and how we know it's not an easy job. But I always tell people like this, Mitty Man, and I know you do the same probably. What do you do when you get ready to apply for a job? You have your resume ready, you get cleaned up, you look presentable, you speak well, you want that job. Minister of music position is the same thing. And what do a job require? Qualifications. What do the Bible teach us? Qualifications. Qualifications of pastors, deacons, leadership, period. And people get mad when you talk about different types of positions in the church. I'll just say it like that. And that's why I love what you said about learning how to teach parts. Because how can you really, how can you call yourself a minister of music and you won't learn the full thing? That's why I said I never seen Jesus in the Bible half do anything. And this is a subject people don't like talking about because you got so many ministers of music out here telling the church, I need to get paid this much money. And they play it in two keys. Some of them got it made so well, bro. They don't have to teach parts, nor go to Sunday school, nor Bible study, nor evening programs. They just show up and get their check. And to call yourself a minister of music and don't take it serious, you better be careful because God is watching. See, I don't know about most folks, man, but I take it to the heart. That's why I get so frustrated behind music ministry when it's not going right and people doing any and everything. That's why I get frustrated. I be angry, but I try not to see and not. Because when it comes to doing the work of the Lord, ain't no other job gonna ever be that important, bro, than God's business. When David employed musicians, I believe, and correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I believe that was David that employed skillful musicians because David was a skillful musician. David didn't just hire no anybody. Now churches are hire anybody. They rather hire anybody than to take the person that's humble and that's willing to learn. And I say that because we all had to start from somewhere. And you call yourself a minister of music, but you don't even study the Bible. You're not humble. Half of them sure ain't anointed. You're just doing it for money. Some preachers only preaching for money, not caring about how the church is being ran or talking about salvation. That is a terrible thing, man. And I agree with you 1,000,000%. Everybody who play is not anointed. Everybody is not a minister of music. Like you say, that first word says minister. Ministry. When you are ministering to people, you got to know the word of God. You can't just get up talking about what you think. Now you need to talk about what you know that's in the word of God. See, singing comes from your heart. That's why a singer have to feel what they sing. If I'm not feeling the song, you might as well take the song away from me. Matter of fact, you got to live what you sing. Some ain't going to even agree with that, but that's cool. That's why it comes from the heart. Music is a form of art. It's creativity. and you put your heart, your all into your music, your singing, whoever listening, whatever you do, don't take it lightly. Man, that's why we stay up so late, man. Production, that's why I stay up all night, man. I don't make up no excuses. Because I remember when I used to clock in 12 or 13 hours a day and couldn't give myself 1 hour out of the day. No, I'm going to stay as long as I need to. I worry about going to sleep the next day. Because you got to start somewhere. If you don't start trying to get your goal done, whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, you are not going to get it if you don't start putting time and effort toward it. And leaving folks alone, it ain't meaning you nothing no way. That's how you move forward and keeping God first. You got to move off and around people, and most of ours going to be your family. I hate to say it like that. And folks that want something for nothing all the time. You know, Pop said something to me a couple of days ago, and we was talking about how we can't figure out why we keep robbing each other. You got a black man to rob another black man to kill him for $10. And you got the rich people stay right across the neighborhood, not far at all. They won't go rob the people whose windows you can see straight through there. And we'll never figure that out, will we? You better rob somebody who ain't got nothing than to rob somebody who have something. And I mean this out of love. I'm not saying that anybody needs to be robbed. No, I'm just making a point with this. It's the same way with music. We won't help the next musician come up, but we'll go spend time over here with somebody else that don't even mean you no good. They don't even like you. It's just like when they have these not revivals, but these musicals, when the musician who play at the church ain't good enough according to them. Then they bring in the one that sit there and label every week, that's there and don't miss nothing, is the one get treated the less. They'll bring somebody in on top of them and pay them a whole lot of money. And won't even give the one that's dedicated, that belongs to the church, $25. So when you learn how to be a great man, a God, a woman, a God, and do things the right way, you wouldn't run over and do folks like this. If you're going to be a minister of music, take it to the heart. Get in that word of God. Let it show in your life. Speaking words don't mean nothing, people. Living it means it all. James said we need to be doers. Readers, hearers, and that most important one, doers. I remember some of the older people that couldn't read. And just because they couldn't read didn't mean they didn't know the Lord. They life lived it. They life showed it. They held on to that relationship with God so hard. So if you're going to do something for God, don't play around with God. And pastors, I hope some of y'all are listening, and minister of musics, beginners and ones that's been doing it for a long time. If you're going to do it, take it serious. Treat people right, even though they ain't going to treat you right. Love them anyway. Do your best. Because it's too many minister of music out. I don't even like to call them minister of music. It's too many already out that's doing the church bad. It's too many out already playing two keys. It's too many out already making all that money and don't even show up to half of the engagements. People, that's a part of your job. If you take on minister of music, when the church go out, that's a part of your job also. And I know most people don't want to hear that. Oh man, I came to this. No, one thing about ministry, it don't stop. Never sleeps, never slumber. Ministry is all the time. When you sleeping, somebody ministered to somebody over the phone. Even when you woke, somebody ministered to somebody somewhere. It never stops. And your prayer life should never stop. The way you live for God should never stop. You're going to take it serious. And I mean this out of love. Take it seriously. Because you don't want to be held accountable as a leader doing bad. This is why God holds leaders way more accountable. That's why all these false doctrines and everything, and people playing around with ministry and praise teams and choirs and deacons messing around with women. People ain't right in the church, and people ain't doing things according to his will. It's going to be a sad day. You don't want to hear them words, depart from me. I never knew you. You work, you did iniquity. Iniquity, you did work iniquity. Y'all know what iniquity is now. How can you please God by doing your own thing? Some people prophesizing for a show off. Some people singing for a show off. Minister of music's battling in the corner. Preachers trying to out-preach each other. Man, this stuff needs to stop. But let the wheat and the tares grow together. I'm going to say that again. Because at harvest time, it's going to be some great separating. I can't do it. I'm just a messenger. I'm not the enforcer. I'm just here to say, get it right. If you ain't going to push, pull. If you ain't going to pull, get out of the way. Let somebody else get on the bandwagon that wants to do it. Many man, great video, man. And I like what you said. Some people just have their favorites. And that's another killer that's off in the church, man. A big killer. It's favoritism. Bible taught us about that also. And it's jealous of somebody else's gift. So what? I'm not the best singer in the world. Who cares? So what? I'm not the best piano player in the world. Who cares? I do what God has blessed me to do. And if somebody sing better, play better, my hand claps is for them. See, I'm not in for a competition. I'm not a performer. I'm a praiser. Big difference. Too many performers already. Are you performing or are you praising? Are you singing for the Lord or are you showing out for the people? Are you being a deacon because that's what God has appointed and chose you to do? Or are you pastoring because that's what God called you to do? Or are you doing everything that I just called out on your own will? Are you laying hands on folks because you think you got power? Y'all remember who was that Simon wanted to buy the gift? Well, I got a news flash for you. God's gift is not for sale. And if he didn't give you that gift, it wasn't for you. Stop playing around with God and be blessed.